This is Brian DeVaro here, one half of AWOL, and you're listening to the Unofficial Maritime Wrestling Podcast.
This is the Unofficial Maritime Wrestling Podcast. Feel the pain in the blast. Through the ropes, through the fight, Maritime Wrestling rules the night. The past, the present, the future. Maritime Wrestling never dies.
Hello and welcome to episode number 2 of the Unofficial Maritime Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Corey, joined by 2 of the 3 that would usually join me from the BSHL podcast, Corey Robichaud.
Yo.
And Jason Casey. What's going on?
What's going on? I'm here. Another day, another 10 cents.
There you go. We made it to episode number 2. Shorter episode this week because, last week we had a lot to get through in the last few months. But we're going to start off with the show that will be happening this weekend, IHW Genesis on March 14th. Not a lot is known about this card so far. We will get the first appearance of the new champions. Chris Charters, the new IHW heavyweight champion, and Hollywood Cole, the new TV champion. Any thoughts on who they might defend their titles against, if they do at all?
I'm not sure. JP Sims is on the card. He's been the champion prior to Charters, so I'm assuming he's going to want to come back after his title again.
Rematch, yeah.
Maybe a rematch or some kind of shenanigans, because Dave Boyce will be there as well, so you never know with those two together. Mm-hmm. As far as Cole goes, I'm not sure who they're going to pair up against Cole. Or
personally, I'd love to see Cole and Fantana. I think that'd be a banger match.
That would be good. I did just see a promotion go through with Logan Green, and he did mention Fantana in his promo, because apparently Fantana is the reason he broke his leg.
So it was a freak accident that happened.
It was a freak accident.
It was during a match with Fantana, or prior to the match, actually.
Yeah.
He jumped off the rope and snapped his leg. I don't know if they continue with the match?
I'm not sure if they did or not. I wasn't there, so I'm not sure how they went on about it.
During his entrance that he jumped off the rope and something went crick and crack.
I think he flipped off the rope or something. His foot slipped off the rope
Okay.
But yeah, so I don't know if he's gonna. I guess we'll have to wait and see on Friday. I will be there. I'll definitely take notes. We'll talk about it next time around. But
yeah,
I'd like to see Madison Miles challenge for that TV championship.
That'd be good.
She's been back in the Maritimes for a while. Maybe make something out of her where she earns her title shot. Like there could be some sort of a little storyline there leading into the summer. IHW has always had pretty good storylines and build-ups, and I've always enjoyed my time watching IHW. But I love seeing Madison back. But I do agree that man, it was first of all, what a great promo in the hot tub, and it was just fun to watch. And I do think he'll face Fantana or build up something with Fantana, or maybe come in and make Fantana lose a match or something. There's going to be some build up. It's going to be a great card. We'll be at a hockey game in Miramichi, but I'll be definitely checking my my messages and see what's up.
Yeah, it'll definitely be pretty cool. I mean, Ricky Mortis put on his Facebook that he'll be there as well, so maybe he'll challenge Cole. We'll know.
Yeah, I think that once Cole's run is over as IHW TV champion, I think the babyface that grabs that belt will be transitional, and I think that belt will transition to Logan Green. I think 2025 he's just going to break out. I think he's going to win multiple titles this year. I believe to his name right now he has the NBWA tag team titles. I think he's much more than a tag team champion, and I think he'll be much more than a secondary champion. I think there are big things for Logan Green.
I agree.
So Other than that, Kirk Obey and Jason Boa will be making their first in-ring appearance since appearing on SmackDown. So that's that's a big get for IHW. I know they don't just wrestle for IHW, but two guys that were on SmackDown, and one had a speaking role too. So that's pretty important. Their thoughts on this?
I think they're gonna get a big reception with the crowd. Pretty much everybody, Facebook was completely covered with both announcements of when they were on SmackDown. So I'm sure everybody in the Maritimes, especially Moncton, is aware. So I think they're going to get a really good reception when they do hit the ring on Friday.
Yeah, I think Boa's been wrestling everywhere lately. I mean, he's kind of been all over the Maritimes. So it's great to see them back in the Maritimes. It's great to see guys getting a chance elsewhere, even just to kind of brush up against some of these big stars. It's got to be a pretty cool experience. I'm a little jealous, I'll be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
Last thing for IHW, I don't know if they've announced it, but a new general manager will be named, I believe.
Yeah, apparently that'll be revealed Friday night. Not sure. I'm not even sure who their old general manager is, to tell you the truth.
I'm old enough to remember Johnny Chase. I believe it was his name.
It's been a while.
A long while. Kevin Tyler at some point was their GM.
Didn't Shano do it for a little bit?
Shano.
Something tells me Shano.
Boyce buy the company. Like, wasn't there a storyline where Boyce bought the company?
So who do we think the GM is? Do we want to try to take a shot at this? What's everybody's prediction?
I mean, Dave Boyce.
I'm feeling Boyce too.
Remy Petit, maybe.
Oh, Remy Petit.
Good.
That'd be interesting. It would be cool if it was one of those old guys that came back. But I don't know, you give Boyce a mic and it's just pretty entertaining. So I think he's a natural fit.
Yeah.
And then he could do everything possible to make JP Sims get good opportunities and then get foiled in the end. There's a lot there, but I'm curious to see. There was a women's match announced today, wasn't there?
Salem Wilder. She's going to be taking on a rookie, Sierra Stone. It's going to be her debut match. She's one of the Maritime Wrestling Academy students.
Okay.
So that should be interesting. It's only Salem's second match in IHW as well. She has been wrestling mostly with CCW in Fredericton. Probably has, I would say, probably a dozen to 20 matches under her belt.
Yeah,
but it's only her second match in IHW. So, it should be pretty interesting. Be cool to see. I haven't seen any promos or any pictures or video packages on Sierra Stone. So, no idea what she looks like or what her capabilities are going to be. It'll be a cool surprise.
Same here. I know Connor Cook's a big fan of Salem Wilder, so he'll be keeping an eye out on that. So.
Oh, Connor's a big fan of everybody.
Connor loves Maritime Wrestling. You remember when they did that? I'm not sure if they did it or if they just planned it, but they had that like Maritime Wrestling Academy show. They did do it, didn't they? During COVID, it was like a smaller show.
Yes, they did. Yes.
That was a really good idea. So I'd love to continue to see stuff like that, but it's great to see new talent coming in. I mean, 100%. Just a year ago, Ricky Mortis was coming out of Maritime Wrestling Academy, and now he's getting matches all over Nova Scotia and New Brunswick and continuing to build that presence.
Yeah, a year ago, mid-March, AWOL started, Ricky Mortis, Demonic. They all started at the same time. Oliver Hansen, they're all in the same training class. And I mean, now they've all got 50-plus matches under their belts. And
it's impressive.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Very impressive. That'll do it for IHW. It's on March 14th at the Coverdale Rec Center in Riverview, New Brunswick. IHW is probably the one promotion that I've seen more matches than any other. I've been going to see IHW since 2009. Always a good time. Live wrestling is always better than on TV. So if you got nothing to do this Friday, get your butt down to Riverview, New Brunswick at the Coverdale Rec Center.
And if you have something to do, cancel it.
Cancel it.
Down there. Just get down there. Unless you're at the Northman game, get to the friggin' rec center, man. It's a great time. I saw the charity of choice this time for their 50/50 is Canadian Mental Health. They always pick great charities. Yeah, I love that they do that. So buy some 50/50, support them, man. Cheap snacks there too, and they have Schooner, which just absolutely disgusting.
I love
Corey
Spooner.
loves that. I'm aware you do.
I can't tell
Cat
you.
piss in a bottle.
Jesus
God
Christ.
dang, man.
I can't tell you how many times, like literally the bartender, she was making fun of me. She goes, I go, can I have a schooner? And she goes, come again? I go, a schooner? They're right there.
She's like, this has been in this case since
No,
1992.
she goes, oh, okay. And then she's like taking my money. She's like, usually it's old men that drink
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, probably still the old little stubby bottles there with the short neck.
No, they're just real beer bottles. Yeah. I thought I was away from getting made fun of my schooner, but it follows you around.
Yeah, never.
So, unfortunately, some sad news here. The North Pro show that was scheduled for that same day has been canceled. The card was to be on VIP Scorched Earth versus AWOL. Also on VIP, the Hollywood Heathens versus the Human Man and Andre Myatt. The main card had a 5-way scramble between the Ghost Ricky Mortis, Jason Boa, Chip Chambers, Max Power, and Sebi. Chantal had a message to North Pro management. She wanted competition. The main event was going to be Alex Silva versus Giant Orion. Winner gets a title shot. And later in the week, we got the announcement of the North Pro Downtown title in a 3-way, Kobe Christ versus Rudy Lockhart versus Bobby Boyette. There was a fire at the Titan Bore.
There was a fire in the building adjacent to the Titan Bore, right?
So,
yeah, next door. Actually, it was on the fire escape outside, so the fire itself was contained outside by the sprinkler system, but unfortunately, the sprinkler system created a lot of water damage inside the building, and it compromised some of the structures. So until it's fixed and the fire marshal gives the okay, they're not allowed to have any events there. So
the rescheduled show is for May 9th, I believe it was.
Yep. For May 9th.
I'm almost certain that this card is going to change completely. Moondog couldn't make it. I'm sure he's going to be there on May 9th. I might be there. Hockey will be over, but work will have started. Depends on how we're working, how I'm feeling, how my knees are feeling. But let's fantasy book for a second here. What do we think will happen on May 9th? Because Moondog's going to be there. He's now a heel. Giant Orion, I believe, is a heel as well, right? Or is he like a tweener?
I think he's a tweener because some shows he come out, half the crowd is cheering, the other half is booing, and then so I would say he's more of a tweener. It almost depends on the crowd and who he's fighting. I think.
The other man there is Alex Silva, the current NSPW Maritime Heavyweight Champion. If that belt still exists, haven't really heard anything about that since the last show in Moncton. What do we think happens with the title? Do these two face off? Is it a triple threat now? Do we get a new champion? What's everybody's thoughts here?
I'm thinking that maybe start of the night there'll be a one-on-one Silva and Orion. We may still get that contenders match, but instead of it being a Money in the Bank briefcase type scenario like it was supposed to be, I think they're going to challenge Moondog right away, make it the main event.
Yeah.
But anything's possible. It could be a triple threat match. They've got the Pro Wrestling Ontario talent exchange program that they're doing. So I've heard that there may be some talent from Ontario coming down. So then that could throw a whole wrench into it as well. Do they do, you know what I mean? Could be, who knows what they're going to do.
Yeah.
If there's no Human Man on the card, I riot. I demand Human Man. He's become one of the most entertaining parts of the North Pro shows for me, just the way that he sells that. And I like goofy shit. So I'm hoping that's on the card. I don't know. I was kind of looking forward to that 5-man scramble. Just because that's such an interesting combination of wrestlers. Chip Chambers' first time in North Pro and Moncton. I don't know. I wanted second time, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He's never been a mainstay, but now it looks like he might be.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Chip Chambers guy. It's just,
yeah.
Again, I will go back over and over. that match against Charlie Hubley in Amherst was absolutely magnificent. And magnificent is the word for me because it was just, oh man, it's good. So I love Chip.
Not be opposed of Chip Chambers even defending his Maritime heavyweight title in Northborough.
Yeah,
I'd see that being the traveling title. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, it would.
I wouldn't be opposed of Chip Chambers winning the North Pro title either.
A little too new right now. You got guys that are ready for it. But in due time, yeah, I do agree.
Yeah.
I'm open to it. I think maybe he gets the downtown title before that happens.
Yeah,
but as is, I don't know. I really think with Davis being how Davis is in the heel, if I'm fantasy booking this, Davis comes in, interferes, makes Orion lose the match. He faces off against Silva, and then another show later this summer, Orion gets his shot and maybe beats Dylan Davis for the title. I do think we finished 2025 with a belter on a giant.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Do you guys think, like, Covey was to defend the downtown title at Moncton, the North Pro show in Moncton? Is there a use for two secondary titles?
Not for me.
Do we see the NSPW Maritime title go bye-bye? Do we have a unification? I would not be opposed by having a unification match.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to do that.
I agree. I think unify it or do something, just drop it and carry on with the downtown. I mean, it makes sense, right? It gives them a lot of options too. You can have some shows in downtown Halifax. You could have another Capital show.
Plus, they have the Antigonish shows that they have at the Candid Brewery.
Yeah, so I like having especially if you're working more with Ontario guys, less with NSPW guys. Yeah, I mean, I was a little bummed to not see Hayden Bright on this card initially.
Yeah,
I'm hoping he keeps coming down. I've really enjoyed to watch his development. And the dude is getting jacked. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. I think he was not scheduled on this card because he had got injured. Yeah, he had a partial tear in his knee or something. Apparently, he didn't need surgery because he is wrestling again. He wrestled in Quebec not too long ago. So I think that was the whole reason that he wasn't on this card. But, yeah, I love watching Hayden wrestle. It's crazy.
So also there's a new North Pro Canadian Wrestling YouTube channel. You can go check that out on YouTube. Their next show. So this show is going to be called Weathered Storm, and I guess they didn't weather the storm enough. So,
well, they got the storm, the water damage inside the building.
Water damage.
We'll link the new YouTube channel in our description. And I'm only saying this because then I get to put the pressure on Corey to not forget, because I am notorious for forgetting to put stuff in the podcast. I forget to put in the description. I forgot to put it on the end of the video. It's no pressure, Vautour.
No, that's right, Vautour. But I definitely recommend you guys go watch the videos that they have uploaded, especially their stuff from the Candid Brewery Company. Mm-hmm. I've never seen a crowd so into a match in my entire life.
Yeah, unreal.
If you watch the AWOL versus Joey and Dawson match, it was unbelievable. It was so like, ooh, yeah, like it was just absolutely crazy. Like, one punch, they'd all cheer. Then the other guy, Joey, would punch, they'd all boo. It was just nonstop throughout the entire match. It was absolutely unbelievable.
New Hook and Blay was another good one.
Oh yeah,
he's a little Blay in the show. Like when the graphic shows up, it's New Hook versus Little Blay. But when you look at the video, it's Cody Uno Ocho.
Yeah. So
he's going.
Yeah, he's transitioned over. He's gotten rid of the Little Blay altogether. Well, I mean, he does wrestle mostly in Mexico now, so it just makes sense for him to have a Spanish name. He is a luchador. In my books, he is. He just doesn't wear a mask. He's unbelievable. He's the most traveled maritime wrestler we have. He's
Absolutely.
everywhere, and he's so fun to watch.
He is.
Yeah.
A few more pieces of news here. WWE ID will be getting some Maritimers trying out. So Hollywood Cole, Ethan Knight, Jason Boa, and Fantana will be on their way there to try out for that. So thoughts on this?
Yeah, they are leaving Friday right after the show. I'm gonna go pick up Ethan Knight in Fredericton and then head off. I'm excited for them. They deserve it. Probably four of the guys right now in the Maritimes that are really making a push. They're over with the crowd. It's a master class training seminar for 2 days. All the top talent at the end of the 2 days is actually going to perform on Sunday night at a show. I mean, if you can do it, go for it. Yeah, you want to be the best, you got to learn from the best. So
yeah,
I'm really excited for for some of those young guys like Cole and Ethan Knight that haven't really gotten that rub
push,
with WWE in the past. I know Fantana has occasionally had that Toronto try, and he's always been like, I don't know what's holding them back from giving him an opportunity somewhere, but Fantana's just so talented.
Yep.
And he's been around the Maritimes I remember watching him a decade ago in NWE, and just he's just a very talented. He does shit to get over with fans, the hoverboard and all the little things that he does. He's really, really well liked, and you rarely see him put on a bad performance in the ring. He's very unique in his style, and he just deserves it to me. So I'm happy for him.
Yeah, and his community involvement is crazy. Like, every time you look at his page, he's at a school talking, or, you know what I mean? Like, doing something with the community, encouraging the community, talking about bullying, so he deserves it. 100%. And I mean, Cole and Ethan Knight are still young.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? They're 24, 25, so, I mean, all kinds of time to sign a contract. LA Knight was 41 when he signed his first contract.
Like Ethan Knight, he is on his way. He's like right there. He's right there. Hollywood Cole, you would tell me he's been wrestling for 20 years. I would say, well, obviously, the guy has mastered his craft. The guy is so friggin' good. And it just shows in the ring. His character alone.
Yeah.
The character alone can get him over, but then he can wrestle on top of that. So it's like, the total package right there. So best of luck to these four gentlemen, and Jason Boa too. We can't forget Jason Boa.
Yeah. I mean, he's already been graced the screen of SmackDown with Cody Rhodes. Hopefully, the next time we see him on TV, he'll be in the ring.
Hopefully.
Absolutely.
So last piece of news here, it sort of ties into the Unofficial BSHL podcast. The wrestlers of Superstars of Wrestling were at the St. John Sea Dogs game. My favorite part in that, I believe it was Zane Valentine and Rugged Rick Owens. So I believe it was the puck drop where Rugged Rick Owens came out. He's got the St. John Sea Dogs jersey. They're facing the Halifax Mooseheads. And Zane Valentine comes out with a Halifax Moosehead jersey. Thought that was hilarious.
Was it Zane Valentine or Matt Chevron? I think it was Matt.
It could have been Matt Chevron. It was like a fan taken video. So it might be Chevron. I could be wrong there. My apologies if I am. Someone went through a table. Wesley Pipes was there. It's wrestling and hockey. What more can you ask for?
Wow.
I hope to see a lot more of that. Goes hand in hand. Corey, did you see this?
I did see it. I think it's a great way to get some new eyes on maritime wrestling, which and let's be honest here, those guys are killing it. Their cards are great. Their online presence is really good. I'm very impressed. Very impressed. And also not super surprised, because Wesley Pipes has got a really good wrestling brain. And again, a vet, guy that's been around the maritime scene for as long as Fantana has. I mean, it's been a long time. Super talented guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, shows coming up. We have CCW Clash 13 31, not 13. My bad. I'm numbers dyslexic, all right? CCW Clash 31, one last fight. I believe the main event will be Rugged Rick Owens versus Chris Lewis. I almost said Trey Lewis there.
All right. Man, Rick Owens would not see that coming.
Yeah.
Also the same night, UCW Madness and Mayhem. UCW, I believe. I don't remember. Well, we'll get into it next week if there are any matches. And,
they've only really announced one. They've announced their heavyweight championship match, Hollywood Cole versus Jonathan Cross.
That should be a good one. Real Savage Pro Wrestling, Long Live the King, will also be on March 22, with a main event of Gino Ryan versus
Giant Elric.
Okay.
Quebec wrestlers. So we will be going more in depth next week on that. Like I said, shorter episode this week because this is what's going on this week and what's coming up next week. So shorter episodes like this will be more common for us. Last week was the first one, but any final thoughts before we sign out?
Not really. I'm definitely gonna enjoy Friday night IHW. If you guys do attend, come on over, say hey. I'll definitely have some insight in what's going on and be able to give more stuff next week. But it should be a good night.
My last thoughts are, I want to get to a Real Savage show. They're in Pont de France. It's Trackety Alpine territory.
Yep.
Not that far from us. Great card. Like, they bring in some really good talent. Again, I'm Mark IV, Hayden Wright, and he's on this card. So I really want to try to get to one of these shows.
Yeah, they got a nice venue too. It's like a community center. It's got like a stage. They can probably fit 500 people or more. Yeah, it's really nice. It's really
we got to make it to a card.
Got to make it to an RSPW show.
So with that being said, thank you to Brian DeVaro for the intro. Forgot to mention that at the beginning. And we will see you back next Wednesday for episode number 3. March 19th. I will be in pain that day, but I will soldier on. So with that, take care, guys.
All right.
Thanks for being here.
Peace.